Nestled deep within the rolling hills of New England was the quaint town of Ravenswood. The townsfolk prided themselves on their idyllic community, but they whispered about a cursed mansion on the outskirts of the town, the Blackwood Estate. No one dared approach it after sunset. For generations, strange tales of apparitions, mysterious disappearances, and eerie whispers had shrouded the house in infamy. When Natalie Hawthorne, a struggling journalist desperate for a breakthrough, stumbled upon a dusty manuscript detailing the mansion's dark history, she knew this was her chance. The Invitation. The manuscript described the Blackwood family, who had mysteriously vanished in 1894, leaving behind a legacy of darkness. Natalie's editor was skeptical, but she convinced him to greenlight her investigation. The mansion loomed before her like a specter, its windows shattered and its walls covered in ivy. The air grew colder as she approached, her camera slung over her shoulder. A rusted gate creaked as she pushed it open, sending chills down her spine. Inside, the mansion smelled of mildew and decay. Broken furniture lay scattered across the floor. She set up her camera and began exploring. It wasn't long before she heard it, a faint whisper, barely audible, calling her name. Shadows in the dark, Natalie tried to rationalize the whispers as her mind playing tricks on her. But as the evening turned to night, the whispers grew louder, more insistent. "Leave while you can," the voice murmured. Determined to uncover the truth, Natalie pressed on. She found an ornate diary in one of the upstairs bedrooms. It belonged to Eleanor Blackwood, the last matriarch of the family. The entries detailed strange rituals conducted in the basement, summoning entities from beyond the veil. The floorboards creaked behind her. Natalie spun around, her flashlight trembling. A shadow darted across the hallway, too quick to be human. The basement door. The diary mentioned a hidden passage in the library. Natalie found it easily. A bookshelf that slid aside to reveal a narrow staircase leading down. The air grew colder with each step she descended. The basement was vast and damp, with symbols etched into the stone floor. At the center was a pedestal with a blackened book chained to it. The whispers were deafening now, overlapping voices screaming unintelligible words. When Natalie touched the book, the temperature plummeted, and the basement plunged into darkness. A pair of glowing red eyes appeared in the void. The entity Natalie froze as a towering figure emerged, its form cloaked in shadow. Its voice was a guttural growl. "You dare disturb me?" it bellowed. Natalie stumbled backward, clutching the diary. The creature's eyes bore into her soul. She felt a sharp pain in her chest as visions flooded her mind. Scenes of the Blackwood family performing dark rituals, sacrificing their own to appease this entity. The creature lunged at her, but Natalie recited a passage she'd read in Eleanor's diary. The entity recoiled, howling in rage before vanishing into the darkness. The haunting escalates. Natalie fled the mansion, but the whispers followed her home. At night, her lights flickered, and shadows moved across her walls. The smell of decay lingered in her apartment. Desperate, she contacted Professor Michael Reed, a paranormal expert. He was intrigued and agreed to help. Together, they returned to the Blackwood estate. Reed explained that the entity was likely a whisper demon, a malevolent spirit feeding on fear and despair. To banish it, we must destroy its anchor. The book, Reed said. The ritual. They returned to the basement, armed with salt, holy water, and a Latin incantation. The whispers grew louder as they approached the book. Reed began the ritual, but the entity appeared, angrier than before. It lashed out, throwing Reed against the wall. Natalie grabbed the book and doused it in holy water. The entity screamed, its form flickering like a dying flame. Natalie chanted the incantation, her voice trembling but resolute. The book burst into flames and the entity let out a deafening roar before vanishing in a blinding flash of light. Aftermath. The whispers ceased and the oppressive atmosphere lifted. Natalie and Reed emerged from the mansion, exhausted but victorious. Natalie's article on the Blackwood estate became a sensation, but she never returned to the mansion. Though the entity was gone, she couldn't shake the feeling that something still watched her from the shadows. Late at night, when the world was silent, she sometimes heard a faint whisper, "Come back."